Actually, they're going tomorrow night in front of the Capitol Committee in Whitman to present. I think they have about between 60 and 70% of the design completed. So we're moving forward.
Okay. And Whitman Middle rooftop?
Which is interesting, like I told Christine, when we look at complaints, those rooms that had the old units, we replaced 2 rooftop units over there,
Yep.
so just around $15,000. And we do not have complaints coming back from those 2 locations since those units have been installed. We had constant complaints before they were, the old units were there. So that's kind of the tale that tells me everything's working better. When I don't get the email or the work order that the heat's not on, the ventilation's not good. So,
Okay.
knock on wood, everything's working good over there.
All right.
And we have 5 units on the capital matrix for Whitman for next year.
Yep. And I'm sure the Capitol will be discussing that with us very near future.
Yep.
Weather-related issues?
Well, we have 4 inches of rain coming this weekend. It's better than snow. I'm concerned about, we'll do the roof drains tomorrow, so we'll get on the roof, and actually all the yard drains and the road drains, we'll clear them out from leaves and preparing for, but when rain comes down like this, we're going to discover we have some roof leaks that we didn't know we had before. We called Gibson today on the track here at the high school. We've had that fixed 2 times. I'm concerned about it possibly leaking again, so I asked Gibson to come here tomorrow and flood that area. So what they do is they plug the roof drains and they flood it. And I want to just see what's going on with that, because my sense is we're going to see a couple leaks district-wide that we've not seen before.
Okay.
Especially when you have that much.
Yeah. With the committee's indulgence, to pass over some of the building updates and the facilities oversight, supervision, and cleanliness. That I know we took a tour and wanted to report out on that tour. But with the committee's indulgence, we'll pass over those until our next meeting.
Yep.
And I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the school committee meeting of February 28th, 2018. As I do at every meeting, I'd like to remind you that this meeting is being recorded and is also being broadcast live, so keep that in mind. As we start all meetings, I'd ask you to please entertain me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. We'll be going into executive session to conduct contract negotiations with non-union personnel, Mr. Jeffrey Simonak, who is the top finalist for school superintendent of schools. Final vote to execute the superintendent's contract will be done in open session after we come out of executive session. I'm assuming this is going to take approximately 15 to 20 minutes, maximum a half an hour, so we will be starting back up at 7:30. We are going to adjourn to another room so everybody can stay here and be comfortable, so we'll be back.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. We voted to come out of executive session. It was the longest half hour I think I've ever negotiated anything in my entire life. But everyone did a good job. And Mr. Simonak, is he back in?
There he is.
Yep.
Jeff, would you please come up? We have entered into a contract with Mr. Simonak for the next 3 years. And if you could come up, Michelle, do you have a contract for him to sign? We have marked up this contract quite a bit. So when we have the full contract typed, I will be releasing it and reading it at a school committee meeting or, you know, it's a public document, so anyone that would like to see it can.
Today's my wife's birthday, so she thanks you very much for keeping me here. I was gonna add the $80 for the babysitter, because she's out.
Good luck with that.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Did we put a start date on it?
Okay.
July, right?
I need to take a vote, a roll call vote to accept Mr. Simonak signing the contract.
Yes.
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 Congratulations, Jeff. Okay, and just for anybody that may be watching, just for, this is an open meeting law guide provided to us by the Attorney General, Maura Healey, and it states specifically, no vote taken by a public body, either an open or an executive session, shall be by secret ballot. And as you just saw, we did a roll call vote. Votes can no longer be secret ballot, and I think it's been that way for a few years. So everything has to be in an open session vote. So, okay. I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes of January 8th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes of January 10th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. I'd entertain a motion to accept the minutes of February 7th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
No, sorry, I'm jumping the gun. I have nothing to discuss. I'm just voting yes. Things along.
All those in favor? I'd entertain a motion to accept the minutes of February 15, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. Maura, you've been very patient.
Got homework to do. Sure.
She's been working over here.
NHS stuff, definitely.
She brought stuff with her.
See, I come prepared. The Alumni Community Band concert will be Friday, March 2nd at 7 p.m. in the Performing Arts Center here at the high school. Whitman-Hanson Dollars for Scholars will be celebrating the 11th annual A Taste of Whitman-Hanson on Thursday, March 8th at the VFW in Whitman from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Up to 24 local restaurants and food service providers will be offering samples from their menu to the general public. The Whitman Police Department, in conjunction with Whitman-Hanson High School, will be conducting a free RAD self-defense class for women on Tuesday nights from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., March 6th, 13th, 20th, and 27th, at the Whitman-Hanson High School. This course is only offered to women and is taught by certified instructors from the Whitman Police Department. Female students and staff are welcome to sign up. Sign-up sheet is available in the main office of the high school. FAFSA workshop will be Thursday, March 1st. Seniors and their parents who have not yet completed their free application for federal student aid are invited to a second FAFSA workshop, sponsored by American Student Assistance. The program will be held in the high school computer lab starting at 5 p.m. AP exam registration deadline will be this Friday, March 2nd. Students enrolled in AP classes will be taking AP exams in May are reminded that AP exam registration forms and exam fees are due this Friday, March 2nd. Students that receive free or reduced price lunch are eligible for a reduced exam fee. Naviance night for grade 10 and 11 parents will be Wednesday, March 21st. The high school counseling office is pleased to invite grade 10 and 11 parents and guardians to Naviance night for parents on Wednesday, March 21st at 6:30 p.m. This program includes a hands-on workshop in high school computer labs that will teach you how to conduct a comprehensive online college search. MEFA Paying the College Bill workshop will be Wednesday, March 28th. Parents and students are invited to attend a free seminar on paying the college bill, which will be held on Wednesday, March 28th at 6:30 p.m. in the Performing Arts Center here at the high school. This seminar is offered through MEFA, the Commonwealth's Authority on Planning, Saving, and Paying for College. The Credit for Life Fair will be April 5th. The high school is planning a Credit for Life Fair to foster financial literacy in our seniors. It is a reality fair, an interactive exercise where students visit booths to learn about financial decisions for various services and living expenses such as cell phone, clothing, groceries, renting an apartment, leasing or buying a car, and community service options. The field trip to the Boston National College Fair for juniors will be Friday, April 13th. The school counseling office is sponsoring a field trip for juniors to the Boston National College Fair on Friday, April 13th. Over 350 colleges and universities from all over the U.S. and abroad will be available to share expert admissions information with our students. The Whitman-Hanson 3rd Annual Best Buddies Road Race and 1 mile walk or run will be Saturday, April 7th at 10 a.m. here at the high school. Indian Head MCAS schedule can be found on the district website as well as the report card. The Hanson PTO is hosting a basket raffle / silent auction night on April 27th, and all students are invited to participate in the fun. Each class has been assigned a theme for a basket which will be raffled off during the event. The theme of each classroom basket is listed on the back of this paper. All proceeds from the sale of these items will go toward field day activities as well as enrichment programs for both McQuon and Indian Head.
Any questions for Maura before she goes away?
Thank you.
Thank you, Maura.
Thank you.
Superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you. I just want to begin my report. We were all horrified by the shootings on February 14th in Parkland, Florida. And just as we were horrified with Sandy Hook in December of 2012, this also brought home to us 2 weeks ago how critically important the safety and security of our students, staff, our schools, our communities is to all of us. In our response to this, we've communicated with families. Our building principals have also communicated as well. On Monday morning, we had a meeting at 10 o'clock with our Safety and Security Committee, met with the chiefs from both towns and their deputies to really look at what we're doing in terms of safety and security. We would have had that meeting anyway. We meet with them regularly, but clearly the focus on this was what happens when there is an active intruder or an active shooter? What are our responses? Hugely concerning, but I think to speak comfort to everyone is we do have very strong partnerships in Whitman-Hanson with our police and fire departments. At the district level, we have a safety and security team that consists of key central office members, and then we have a principal at each level, Julie McKillop at Duval, George Farrow, Whitman Middle, and Jeff Simonak at the high school, who represent building principals as well in terms of safety and security. I think that's worked well for us. Some of the things that we're doing, we're meeting actually tomorrow with Kevin and Beth to look at some things we'd like to do for staff. And we are planning a parents' night, parent informational night for next Tuesday evening. I believe it's 6 o'clock, Jeff? Jeff's been working on organizing that as just ways to talk to families about the type of things that are in place in Whitman-Hanson. On Monday morning, I sent out my newsletter a little bit early because I felt it was important to let people know how strongly we do take everyone's safety and how important that is to all of us. But what we did say to people are there things they can do. Something doesn't look right, doesn't sound like right, doesn't seem right, report it. And I think we have found since Sandy Hook, people are better at that. We're finding here at the high school, if students hear something, they'll report it. And I think Jeff and I have talked about that if a student's at risk, kids now know that they need to tell somebody. We've said to people, don't prop doors, go through security, wear your badges. There are things we can do. But clearly we're taking a very proactive stance here and take it very, very seriously. As you know, that's our third pillar of success, our safe and secure schools. We are working on a variety of things. As recently as February 8th, our security principals put together a tabletop for us to work on what do you do when a building has to go offline. Now, their incident, they used Duval School, and they said, what if there was a fire? And Chief Greno said you couldn't go back in. What would you do? And our administrative team, principals, assistant principals, directors, all worked for about an hour and a half, 2 hours on what are some things you do. Sometimes those things bring out even more questions than answers, but we will continue to do tabletop exercises, drills, a variety of things, and work with our safety and security professionals. But we did want to report out on that to you. Jeff, did you have anything you wanted to add? That one of the things that we've been talking about was March 14th is the day that has been slated for #NeverAgain. I'm sure you've all read about it. This is having a walkout, really to talk about mental health issues, gun control, background checks, all those kinds of things. So Jeff's been working at the high school, and I've asked him to report to you in terms of what's going on.
So this really seems to be right now a high school issue, not a good issue, bad issue. It's indifferent right now. Kids are buzzing around. What are we going to do? Are we going to do anything? Are you going to take a stand against us if we walk out of school? So tomorrow afternoon, I've invited faculty and students to join me in the Performing Arts Center to talk about what's appropriate, what's meaningful. I tweeted something out last night. Kids are ready to come down and just have a discussion. What they want to do. I really think that if they want to take the lead, I'm super happy that we have some vocal kids in the school. I think we have some really good community members as well, and they're interested in what's going on in this country. Right or wrong, left or right, I want to hear what they have to say. And what we can do is a time of remembrance about the 17 lives lost in Florida. So I'm really throwing it back at them. So I don't have a lot to report to you of what we're going to do, because I haven't heard from the kids yet. I have an idea that they might want to walk out for those 17 minutes. It's supposed to start at 10 o'clock and end at 10:17. So I've already made some modifications in our schedule if need be. Had some conversations with some faculty as well to make sure that kids, if they do decide to leave school, they'll be supervised. I've also had a conversation with both police departments, with Billy Frazier and Kevin, and they're here to support us in whatever we do. One of the buzzes out there is making sure that if kids go outside that they're safe. We want to make sure that that happens as well. So I really want to hear from the student body what they want to do. There's some different suggestions as well. Maybe just hanging out in the gym and being quiet for 17 minutes, writing letters to their congressional members. I advocate for that. If we're going to do anything, there has to be some sort of communication with our legislators about how we feel in Whitman-Hanson. I know we're probably not going to get the media buzz as Brookline or Newton or some of the inner city schools. Somerville had a walkout today, and Channel 25 and 5 were there. I don't think we're going to get that. We'll be prepared for that as well. On Franklin Street, media won't be allowed to come on campus while we're in session. So we're going to have a dialogue tomorrow, and if you follow me on Twitter, you're going to be able to see what comes out of that discussion. But I'm super impressed with our student leaders and just your everyday kid who's really been affected by what happened in Florida. They're really concerned about mental health, and I think one of the sticking points out of this situation, and what I had reported to last week with the students, is see something, say something. Well, in this case, people did see something and say something. So we're working on that social emotional piece of saying, the system didn't work this time, but it can in the future. And maybe by your voices, we can escalate and we can make some change. So tomorrow, I don't know if I'm going to have 800 kids in the pack. I don't know if I'm going to have 3 kids in the pack. But I know there's voices out there that want to be heard by members of our community and others. So I'll report out as we go. Whatever we do will be structured through us and with the safety and security of our kids at first and foremost.
I would certainly support anything that the staff and students decide to do in that particular day. I think there's a lot of strength in what's been going on from the youth, the demonstrations and speaking out, and hopefully that is the group, or that's the new generation that will take care of this particular problem. So whatever I think the Whitman-Hanson High School students do, I would be fully behind it, as a school committee person and as a concerned citizen as well.
And I appreciate that, Mr. Trotter. What I would just ask publicly is that people that want to ask questions, that they call or email me directly and not post things on Whitman Pride or Hanson Connect, where it goes off. And I had a school council meeting with parents tonight, and one parent had asked a question, and it went down the list of 170 some odd comments, some being appropriate, some being not appropriate. And when people get off topic without getting direct answers, rumors start to happen. So that's where some things come in. So if people are watching right now, if you have some questions, give me a buzz on Friday morning or shoot me an email after I talk to my kids about what we want to do, and we'll have those conversations. But posting things that are rumor on both social medias, I have students now going up trying to defend themselves and do different things and getting into a war of words with adults that they don't know or might not have anything to do with our community. So I'd caution for that, and I'd encourage those conversations. Mr. Hayes said that to my parents tonight too. If you have questions, please shoot me an email, shoot the superintendent an email or a phone call, and we'll try to answer those questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And just as a reminder, on March 6th at 6 p.m., there will be a parent meeting. We will have our safety and security professionals here as well to answer questions, to talk about the things that we're doing here at Whitman-Hanson. The next is the program of studies. I asked Jeff if he would also present that to you for approval.
So this should be relatively simple. You should have in front of you just the simple changes of the program of studies. And we're not really adding or deleting anything major. They're just some name changes that we found. As the curriculum directors went through our program of studies, they updated some different things to make it more current for our student body. They've eliminated some courses that haven't run in the future and really just cleaned up the document. So what you have in front of you are some removed courses, added courses. I don't necessarily want to go through the list because it's not going to make sense to the general public. But if you have any specific questions I can answer for you, I'd feel those questions. If not, I just look for an approval of the program of studies. There's nothing drastic. There's nothing that's going to affect the curriculum or the instruction of our kids this year. We've added one course, and the course is a study of the American superhero, which is really based upon graphic novels and the characters and how it affects how those superheroes have affected society. What I've asked teachers to do is talk to their kids about designing new courses, and this is a more 21st century course. Ms. Diogenes made the proposal, and I think it's worthwhile to run it as an elective course in the English department.
So we need a vote.
I'd like to make a motion to approve as presented the changes.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Very
Jeff.
nice job.
And lastly, I've asked Christine to give you an update on the FY18 budget.
In your packet, you should have the munis reports, I believe, is the very first page.
This is the additional handout, right?
Yep.
Yes, the additional handout, correct. School committee meeting, it says on the, so it's the second page.
I got yours, Bob.
Got it, Mike?
Yeah, I stole Bob.
So the first page is the revenue. Does everyone have it? So the first column is the original appropriation, and then any transfers or adjustments as we have not had to revenue. The revised budget, which is the anticipated revenue. Year-to-date expended is actually what we've taken in. And then the available budget is what we expect to have come in by June 30th. So if you look at the assessments, the busing, the mandated, we've received 3 payments out of 4. The high school debt and in the technology, we've received all of it. Medicaid reimbursement, we've received just over 50%. So I anticipate that we should reach the $100,000 that we anticipated. Chapter 70, we received 8 out of 12 payments. Same with the charter school reimbursement. Transportation, we received 2 payments. We received 1 out of 2. And again, I'll bring to your attention the interest income. We've exceeded what we anticipated of $30,000 by $10,000, and we've received 7 out of 12 months is included in that. And circuit breaker and E&D, I have not made those transfers. We'll do those in June.
Any questions for Christine?
The next few pages are the expenses. Again, the first column is the original appropriation. I have not to date asked for transfers. Third column would be the revised budget. The year-to-date expended is any of the checks that have gone out the door for supplies, services, or salaries. The next column will show the encumbrances, which things that have been ordered that have not come in yet or been paid for. And the last column shows the available budget. The current budget is still frozen. Have the same concerns as I did at the last time I reported out. Special education costs, if you look at page
9.
Page 9, thanks. About 3/4 of the way down the page, if you look at the transportation and the tuition is exceeded what we expected in the budget. And then also Recovery High Schools has exceeded what we had anticipated. If you look on page 7, about 3/4 of the way down. And then the other, where my other area of concern is some of the substitute lines. We've had quite a few people out on leaves of absences that are being paid, so we're bringing in substitutes and or long-term subs.
Question?
Any questions?
So
If you look at, Dan?
we're over on the sped transportation?
Yes, we are.
If you look at the sped line total, you see how much it's out?
Just wanted to double check, that's why you need
So other tuition for students going out is also, so that means they need to be transported to those programs.
It's just somebody new coming in, or?
I could say over the last couple of months, we've been watching 4 students that we've been trying to keep in district have moved to schools within our district, trying to make the right fit, reprogram. Principals worked with us very closely to try to keep kids in the community, and to not go too deep into it because I can't, would say that it became safety issues in all cases. Children went out, for both themselves and for others.
Thanks.
Any other questions for Christine? Thank you for the update.
Thank you, Christine. And we found in working with other school districts that the concerns about special ed costs are not unique to Whitman-Hanson, that students are coming to us with issues and concerns very different from ones we would have even seen 10, 15 years ago. And it's a concern across the board. So, all set?
Okay. Any questions for Ruth? Old business, 2018-2019 budget discussion.
Here we are.
As early as last night, we met with the Whitman Finance Committee and discussed and presented some of our budgets and some of the long-term capital items and gave them our care and concern about where we are with this budget. And we shared with them everything that we shared with everyone the last time we unveiled this budget, so to speak, and talked about to make us whole would need 10.76 assessment from the 2 towns to just make us come out with that type of a budget. So they had some concerns and there was discussions, and Ruth, if you'd like to.
Well, basically, we went through how the budget was put together this year, that of course it is different in some ways because there's no budget for McQuon School for next year, but the budgets for the schools where the McQuon students will be going clearly have gone up. So we talked about those changes, that we said it's inherently a level services budget. Costs are up because of a variety of reasons, various contracts that we have. And then we also spoke about the addition of an elementary family liaison, the $40,000 to begin the multi-year one-to-one technology plan, the addition of 2 special education teachers, 1 at each middle school, to be able to work with our students in the areas of science. So we brought up the various issues as well that we have added to the budget that do make a bit of a change. So it's not 100% level service. There are some things that were real priorities for our administrative team that have been put into the budget as well. So that's where we were. We talked about that, and right now the budget is, the gap is over $2.6 million. So that's what we've got to make costs and revenue match, and the budget will need to be certified by our meeting on March 14th.
And if you remember correctly, just so anyone watching will know, we're 2.6 million out, as Ruth was
A little
just-
more than 2.6, yeah.
If we typically hit E&D for somewhere between 750 and 900,000, well, right at the current time, I believe there's 936,000 in E&D. And as you can see with the sped line, a moving target and going up, if we hypothetically as a committee voted to hit E&D for 500,000, that'd still leave us $2.1 million out of budget. So there's a lot of wrangling we're gonna have to do as we move forward. In both towns, I have to say, we've met with both finance committees, and they understand and they see, and they're working on some different ways to maybe fund some of that so we can come out of this a little bit better.
We meet again with Hanson next Tuesday evening.
So anyone that would like to attend, feel free. Anyone else on the budget?
I have one thing I can mention.
Go ahead.
Is the Bayflower Municipal Health Steering Committee have recommended some rates. And we'll be voting those on March 7th, but that will not have any bearing on the current budget that was presented February 7th.
Also, there's rumor that there's an increase in the per pupil that we're going to receive. It was $20 and it went to $55, then it went back down and there was discussion, and now there's some motions on the floor to return it to $90 or $100, and
Really help.
That would really
that's,
help.
as you know, if you follow the governor's budget year to year, we go through this most years where it gets down to the last, we have to do it within 45 days of town meeting, so it's going to be a document that's definitely fluid and going to be moving around, so we'll keep you abreast. If anyone has any questions, we'd be more than happy to try and answer them. Anyone from the committee or anyone from the gallery? Okay. Thank you. McQuon closing update. I don't believe a lot has changed. We again met, Ernie has met, he met with facilities tonight to discuss that. It was a discussion of where we're gonna go and where the road's gonna be. It's still moving around, the changes, if you want to discuss it, or Fred, or anyone, Mike, or anyone that was involved.
The main thing is that over February vacation, they were able to begin work on the Indian Head School. That money was allocated at a special town meeting in Hanson, and that required some asbestos removal. So they have made the first steps. With the special town meeting, and you all will be voting a warrant article in a few minutes, on March 12th, that will provide the remaining funding needed for the project. A lot of work's been done to have a lot of contracts ready to go as soon as the finances are available. I don't know if there's anything else anyone wants to bring up about it.
Fred?
I'll add a couple of the hot topics. One is the playground over at Indian Head, and Ernie's committed to working as quickly and as diligently, and I believe Beth has a committee working on exactly for the placement, so that we can get numbers to the town of Hanson as quickly as possible, so that we can get that part of it moving forward for the kids there.
Right, thank you.
The roadway is still a topic of discussion. There are, I guess, two different plans, and we're just waiting on bore samples and some feasibility, I guess, on the current preferred plan, which would put a loop out in the front.
That's where we are right now. We'll have more information.
Just so anyone that's listening, the loop in the front would consist of the circle as you come up the driveway. The circle would get smaller to make the lane wider and put the fire lane on the inside, so if we had any emergency equipment, they would be closest to the building. and it would spread that lane back into the center a little bit. That's one of the things I heard. Also, the DPWs have volunteered to come up and strip off the loom and move some of the curbing and prepare it so there'll be less cost to the towns or the district by doing some of that in-house. That was also discussed last night in Whitman, so that's part of this project. But we'll keep you abreast of how that comes out as we move forward with it.
Yeah, and Ernie has a great relationship with the Whitman DPW. Bruce Martin over there, they work fantastic. They helped us out big time on the cement work out front here, and they volunteered to be able to help us again, and their efforts are truly appreciated.
They saved us a ton when we had to do all that cement work, so it's a good team effort.
Right.
We appreciate that. Okay, new business. We did the vote for the superintendent's contract. I have a warrant article, and it is the language for this article for the Whitman special town meeting on March 12, 2018, to see if the town will vote to transfer $256,725.62 from the Capital Stabilization Fund to pay for costs associated with the moving of the pre-kindergarten district-wide program from McQuon School to the Whitman-Hanson Regional High School, or take any action relative thereto. It's proposed by the Whitman-Hanson Regional School District. I'd entertain a motion to accept.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Anyone? All those in favor? Unanimous.
Thanks.
We have no guests this evening. I do have a field trip.
8th grade.
8th grade field trip leaving June 4th to June 8th, going to Washington, D.C. This is an annual trip. There's 118 students going. We have a list of tremendous amount. We have 10 or 12 already chaperones. We have a couple of substitute teachers that are going to be providing coverage. It's transportation's provided by EF Tours. They will be needing a school nurse for this trip, and it is handicapped accessible. And entertain a motion to accept.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. This is an annual trip to DC. Fred?
Just to note, where it says class club, it's 8th grade, but it doesn't denote it is Hanson Middle.
It is Hanson Middle because this came from Bill Tranter.
Yep.
So it is Hanson Middle. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. I also have a couple of letters here to read. This is to the superintendent. I have been given the honor of presenting Stephen Bagley III with his Eagle Scout Award. This Eagle Scout Award is the highest rank that a young man can earn within the Boy Scouts of America. As far as Eagle Scout project of community service, Stephen built the senior center's pickleball court with an outside sitting area. He built and installed bleachers, planters, and a storage shed. This project allowed the seniors to sit outside and talk and bond together. This project eliminated the need to transport the pickleball equipment back and forth between the senior center and the courts. Stephen's steady and persistent progress through the ranks to achieve this prestigious award demonstrates his determination to prepare himself for a meaningful, productive role in society. His exemplary performance in scouting will serve as a beacon to those scouts who follow him. Superintendent Gilbert Whitner, I would appreciate if you would be so kind as to write a letter of congratulations to Stephen for obtaining the rank of Eagles. We cordially invite you to present this in person to Stephen. However, if you are unable to attend, we would like you to read this congratulatory letter at his Eagles Court of Honor on March 24th, 2018. And
Here's the letter. Yep.
And our superintendent did write him back. Dear Stephen, on behalf of the Whitman-Hanson Regional School Committee and the district as a whole, I would like to congratulate you for earning your Eagle Scout Award, the highest rank a young man can earn within the Boy Scouts of America. This is a wonderful achievement and a great reflection of what a kind young man you have become. We want to acknowledge and applaud your efforts and thank you for being an inspiration to so many of us in the community. The work you have done in the Senior Center to build the pickleball court An outside seating area benefits our senior citizens and eliminates the need to transport the pickleball equipment back and forth between the senior citizens and the court. Your efforts to construct and install benches, planters, and a storage shed are indicative of your dedication and commitment to the community. Congratulations on an excellent job. Stephen, your family, your troop, and your community are very proud and have set out to become an Eagle Scout, and even more importantly, that you achieved that goal. You are part of a very elite minority. The skills and values you learned along the way will be reflected in your decisions and goals as an adult. We wish you the best as an Eagle Court of Honor and throughout your life. The world is a much better place because of leaders who are committed to worthwhile projects like yours. Best wishes in the future. Sincerely, Ruth Gilbert Whitner, Superintendent of Schools. What a great project and a nice young man. I have another letter, and this is something of a previous, I believe, Bob Gay was a principal here.
School principal.
I'm writing, dear Gilbert Whitner, I'm writing on behalf of all of us who are associated with the Massachusetts chapter of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame to inform you that Bob Gay has been nominated for inclusion into the chapter of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. Bob Gay, like I said, was a principal here, and he has been a wrestling coach. I think he is still doing it. Am I correct, Mike?
As of recently, I think so.
Yeah, and to be brought into the Hall of Fame is a great thing, so congratulations to Bob Gay. I remember as early as months ago, he was here one night at a wrestling meet. So that's
Mr. Chairman,
fantastic. Yes.
he was also my ninth grade teacher, so Mr. Gay's been around.
He was my wife's class advisor.
We appreciate everything. Wonderful man. Served the
Yes.
district very well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy that just keeps on volunteering, and it's indicative of people here at Whitman-Hanson do. It's good. Okay, subcommittee reports, warrant subcommittee.
Would you need a motion to approve the minutes?
We already did the 8th, the 10th, the 7th, and the
No.
5th.
Warrant minutes.
The warrant subcommittee.
Yeah, I had those. I thought we,
Oh, yeah.
I'd entertain a motion to approve the warrant subcommittee minutes.
So moved.
Second. Discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Okay. Negotiations Subcommittee.
We meet again on the 12th of March.
March 12th is the Negotiations Subcommittee meeting. Regional Agreement Committee.
Meet again on March 19th.
We meet on the 19th. We met Monday evening for our hour and a half, which turned into a couple hours. We got a tremendous amount done with it. The language has been changed, as the laws have been changed and updated, and we'll be meeting again. So anyone that would like to come to that, it's the 19th?
19th.
March 19th, 6 o'clock, here in the library. Policy Subcommittee.
We're meeting Monday at 5:30.
Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, all these meetings are open to the public. We encourage anyone to attend. Facilities and Capital Improvement Subcommittee.
We met earlier this evening. You heard a lot of it about the McQuon and Indian Head. We also did hear a report on the water. All the water bubblers in the district were tested. There was one bubbler that came up near room 100, I believe, in Indian Head, that's been taken out of service and that will be replaced. Other than that, everything did pass the water quality testing. There was a repair done to the gym floor at Whitman Middle due to some moisture in the underlayment of the gym floor. We did, a couple of us have an opportunity to go through the schools and check on the cleanliness and take a peek around over the vacation. And that was a very positive experience, I think. And met with some of the folks from SJ as well. That's pretty much about it. I don't know if anyone else has anything to add.
Any questions for Fred? Thank you. Legislative update?
Nothing at this point, but as you know, a lot going on.
There are a couple of big events coming up in Worcester.
Yeah, but nothing, yeah.
Okay. Pilgrim Area Collaborative.
Our executive director search continues. We meet tomorrow, and this past week we did the treasurer evaluations.
Okay. Anyone have any questions for any of the subcommittee report committees? Anything? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, all those in favor? Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Yeah, it wasn't too far off. I said 9:20.